gente de Twitter explicando el por qué MrBeast hizo un horrible mal en devolverle la vista a 1000 personas ciegas. Well, what do you know? Another day, another brain-dead take from the Twitter. This, of course, once again involves MrBeast, the one and only. What did Jimmy do this time, you're probably wondering? Well, MrBeast did something so vile, so f***ed up, that not even Satan himself would dare do. He cured 1,000 people's blindness. It's been about 2 weeks since he uploaded this, and it's sitting at a nice 100 million views. With that many views, surely the reception has been pretty positive, right? I mean, he's curing 1,000 people of their blindness. I mean, look at this kid. He looks grateful. Smile harder, Timmy, or I'll blind your entire family. It pretty much all started with this tweet. There is something so demonic about this, and I can't even articulate what it is. If curing 1,000 people of their blindness is considered demonic, then I don't think the opposing side with the almighty Jesus is looking too good. Now, obviously, the main problem that people seem to have on Twitter with MrBeast and this type of content is the fact that he doesn't just do a good deed, but that he makes it into content. Actually, I found a pretty good example. This is basically what people think MrBeast does.
I want to see. Oh,
Lord Jesus.
look at his spine.
Pastor Off is commanding healing, and we're seeing a vigorous vibration of the power of God in this man's body. And he commands him to rise up. Something is happening. Church, I can't hear you. Celebrate Jesus.
Favor is my name, oh.
My boy didn't have a broken spinal cord, he just needed a good little stretch and some encouragement. MrBeast though, he's the real villain. Instead of just encouraging people and telling them, hey, stop being blind, he's paying for their surgery? Now, according to Mr. Ryan Beard, the problem is not MrBeast using his money to help people. The problem is MrBeast being a big fan of capitalism, which is a system that led these blind people to not have a universal healthcare in the first place. So basically, MrBeast no-fix government, so MrBeast bad. And of course, whenever there's such nuanced discourse on Twitter, we can always count on the one and only Keffels to give her brain-dead takes.
Do you think MrBeast would do this if someone said, like, yes, I can't see, I really need the surgery, however, I want my privacy, I don't want to appear on your channel? No, he wouldn't do it. It's about making himself look better rather than actually about philanthropy. Like, it's about content. I guarantee my left nut that if someone got chosen to be in a video like this and they wanted to maintain anonymity, that MrBeast wouldn't just kick them to the side and tell them to get f***ed. Like, do you realize how much footage they record when it comes down to videos like this? Like, I'm pretty sure MrBeast would be okay with not showing one person out of 1,000. This shit's awful. It's bad. And I know, like, when I upload this and people see the video, I'm gonna get shit on, like, oh, well, he was doing a good thing. He's curing blindness and he's giving people money. But it's like, okay, you know, there's a government program that's been running for more than a decade in Cuba that has literally helped millions of people restore their eyesight. The doctors involved, they're not getting accolades. There aren't like millions of people riding their dicks about how good they are.
Why should they be receiving the same attention that MrBeast does? Does the government market the surgeries like MrBeast? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that there isn't even the slightest bit of entertainment if done this way. Not to say what they're doing isn't great, but I think this point's just fucking retarded. In reality, that government operation is boring and pretty normal, while MrBeast's way of doing things is the exact opposite. So of course he would have more eyes on him.
Like, I really wish, instead of this just being content for PR, he could just like donate the money to any sort of organization that provides the funds for people in order to get these funds and get access to these surgeries.
If MrBeast or anyone had just donated the money, none of the awareness raised would have been to this degree by such a well-known person. Believe it or not, when people on Twitter with 200 followers tweet out a link to raise awareness, it does little to nothing. To put it bluntly, if nobody knows you, nobody gives a shit. It's the equivalent of people that change their profile pictures to black during the BLM movement, or when people change their profile picture to a flag when a country gets bombed. That's the extent that most of these people will ever go to. It's a lot more about being able to say, look at me, and look at how much I care about this. On top of that, if he had just donated the money and 1,000 people still got their eyes fixed, that would just be it. That would be the end of it. He wouldn't have been able to make people's day to this extent.
Yeah, I've been subscribed to you for like 11 years.
Really? Oh my god.
And most of all, he wouldn't have been able to make any money back to be able to make like his next big video where he helps other people. People would much more prefer if Jimmy stupidly burned through all of his money instead of having a sustainable business model that allows him to continue doing this stuff for many years to come. Now, believe it or not, the next take is somehow worse than Keffels. MrBeast is bad, and you're a bad person for thinking he's paid his way into being above criticism.
Him giving does not make other people more likely to give.
So I guess the same applies whenever everyday people tweet out links to awareness about X condition or disease. Because I'm sure that tweeting out a link entices people to donate to the cause much more than the way MrBeast goes about it. Surely a feel-good video with tons of emotion from the people that have been cured after being affected for most of their lives isn't going to have as much of an impact as simply tweeting out a link.
And it does not materially benefit long-term the people who he is claiming to give to in the first place.
Yeah, this motherfucker had his blindness cured and got a new car. And this lady got an additional 10K. Like, what kind of argument even is this? This is the equivalent of someone giving a homeless man $5 and then a person driving by saying, you know, you're not actually doing anything to help them in the long term, right? I think that the people that complain about this sort of thing are just jealous and mad that deep down, they weren't the ones to cure blindness. Like, I'm sure it must eat away at them knowing that one day MrBeast will single-handedly cure cancer. Meanwhile, those same people will be typing on Twitter saying that he should have done this 10 years ago, instead of worrying about a couple blind people. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Make sure to drop a like, leave a comment letting me know what you think, and yeah, people suck. Later.